Hello and welcome to Merlins Brick News, the weekly show on all things brick building where we talk about set updates and announcements from all the major brands, MOCs of the week, and a few reading recommendations as well. Information is presented as always by setdb.org, the best source for set information on the internet. And as always, this is where we are going to go, and we will start in alphabetical order, going through the brands, and we'll start with BlueBrixx. And here we have first an announcement of the announcement. It's just one actually, Cabin of the Woods, which is a weird name, but anyhow, it's the 107913. This set is going to have 1760 pieces, designed by Sebastian, and it's running or going to come as a BlueBrixx special actually. And yeah, I think it's a nice wooden cabin. I think there's a lot of like, it's literally in the woods, if you will. It's a small building, but there's a lot of plants and trees and everything around. I really like how much the building is integrated with the main tree. I do assume that if you are removing the roof the way this current picture is showing, it's not going to be easy with all the tree work and everything, all the limb elements, but nevertheless quite a beautiful design. And I really like this whole way of like it literally looks like, right, like an enchanted forest or something like that, quite nicely actually. Really like this design from Sebastian, who is actually one of those new designers at BlueBrixx where we have a ton of announcements, but so far no set is actually here on shelves. So for instance, the Astronomer's Planetarium, I think, a set a lot of folks are waiting for. It's like the extension of the original Astronomer's Tower from BlueBrixx, and I think it's a set a lot of people are waiting for. So yeah, very high hopes, but also many of the other designs from Sebastian look really promising, but like I said, we have to see and look how they build. A similar situation we have with this set here, the Viking Longship, an announcement, the 107914. It's going to have 1146 pieces. As far as I can tell from the pictures, it should be minifigure scale, which would be amazing. However, it looks quite large actually for only 1100 pieces, so let's see. But I mean, if this would be minifigure scale, you could throw in like a bazillion minifigures into this one. It has a brick built sail, which I really like, and it looks quite authentic, I must say. At least a lot more authentic than what, for instance, Lego is doing in this space. Really beautiful design. However, I think you should be able, if it's minifigure scale, that's to be figured out. As you can see, I've already put an availability alert on this one in the ZHEGAO for myself, because that's definitely one that I want to build actually. And with that, we're coming to the designer, Jori. I think he's from the Netherlands, and he's working for BlueBrixx now for quite a while, but same situation. All of his designs are not yet on shelves, so remains to be seen. But the Dutch windmill, the tugboat, really two of my favorites. And as you can see, I've put in availability alerts as well. And the same is true for the Viking Longhouse and the Viking Longship. Speaking of the Longhouse, the 107914, also an announcement, 1949 pieces. And yeah, again, a beauty. It looks quite authentic. Interesting building techniques. Looks to me like the walls are massively brick built, but then with snot technique, you have tiles on the outside, which is, I think, should be a quite sturdy and robust design, but at the same time look quite smooth, if you will, from the outside. The thatch roof, right? It looks quite nice as well. He's using a building technique here that I think we all know from Leonard's Castle nowadays. Lego is using this piece a lot, especially in their medieval series. Very different from older medieval sets that BlueBrixx has done in the past, but it's a different designer, different design language, so that's totally fine. Usually BlueBrixx sets are not that consistent in between designers, but yeah, I really like this design, and I think it should should go very well together with other medieval sets by BlueBrixx. With that, we're moving on to a couple of military designs. I assume that these are vehicles also from the German Armed Forces. They are from the MOCs sub brand of BlueBrixx. The 107906 is the Fennec, 218 pieces. This is basically an 8-stud vehicle in a military context, of course. And then we have the 107907, I guess similar scale, or as always, I keep repeating myself, keep in mind that BlueBrixx has two lines for military vehicles. One is the 1x30 scale, usually run under BlueBrixx Pro, and then they have this MOCs vehicles, or these MOCs vehicles that are smaller actually. and are different from the entire design language, and also come without pet printed pieces compared to the BlueBrixx Pro German Army series that they do have. The 107-907, this is the truck cut GI 8x8. And yeah, 435 pieces, again, only an announcement at this point in time. Then they have the large US off-road vehicle civilian version. They should really look at the case here. I think large should be uppercase. Anyhow, 107-912. And yeah, I guess it's a Hammer, right? I mean, everybody knows, but as always, BlueBrixx usually does not purchase any licenses from car manufacturers compared to many other brands. We will come actually on to that topic in a second. 372 pieces though for this one, designed by Florian and also coming out of the BlueBrixx sub-brand, as is the air defense system, the 107-910, that I'm not 100% sure. I guess, yeah, please, I don't know, let me know in the comments if you know what exactly kind of setup this is representing. Because there's also a concrete wall coming with it, so I'm not really sure. Some border defense system, I don't know. Anyhow, it has 500 or it's going to have 538 pieces. And then we have availabilities. First of all, BlueBrixx has also, as part of the BlueBrixx sub-brand, started to work on a metal festival, and there we have first here these foot stalls, they call it. I don't know if that is the right term, but that's what BlueBrixx calls it. The 107-411, it's going to have 400, well, it does have, because it's actually available, 451 pieces, $18 over here in Europe. As always, that includes value add tax over here in Germany, and it's 4 cents a piece. But I've been asked this several times actually in the comment section in the past. Yes, to my knowledge, BlueBrixx is shipping internationally as well, for sure in the European Union, but I think they're also shipping across the pond. So I think even to North America. So that should not be an issue. And then we have a Cobi set. No, I forgot. I'm sorry. They also have for the Metal Festival the entry barrier Techniques pieces, the 107-412. It's gonna cost you $25 for 500 pieces. And with that, we're moving on to Cobi, and here we have now availability or pre-order for the 38cm Sturmmörser Sturmtiger. So that's a German battle tank from Second World War, as you might guess. And yeah, it seems that, as always, even for, let's say, the international audience, Cobi is not translating. They're using the original title. So anyway, it's based on the Tiger, so it's a very heavy battle tank. And this is a 1x28 scale version, so a minifigure scale of the Cobi line. So it does include a tank driver with one minifigure, and it's going to cost you over here in Europe. I think in this case you can pre-order from Brickmo. That's an Austrian shop for around $77, 7 cents a piece. And yeah, here we go. Actually, I think internationally, I do not have any reviews linked yet to this one. I'm not going to build it, but I do know a couple of German YouTubers already had it on their table, but nothing English yet. By the way, if you're interested in that, and for instance, you want to use the translation feature, so I'm not listing, for instance, German reviews in here on the English-speaking site. However, what you can always do is if you go here to the upper corner in the navigation, or on mobile phone, I think it's on the left. Anyhow, you can switch language to German, and here, for instance, you have a review linked from Blockstar. So he's a German-speaking YouTuber. But in case that is, because from time to time I get comments from international folks, even on my German-speaking content, and they're saying, yeah, I use the translation feature because there's no other way to get to content. So if that is your cup of tea, I will continue not to link directly. But if you want, you can, of course, always switch to the German version of ZDB. And if there is a Central European / German, Austrian, Swiss content creator that did take a look at these sets already, especially for Cobi, I guess it could make sense, or BlueBrixx, because there's a lot more coverage over here in Europe. So for some of you, this may be the right thing. Anyhow, with that, we're moving on to a set from Asia Pacific, where I'm pretty sure I have the wrong set name. The problem is that's the best I got. So my partner, in this case, Bawia, this shop where you can actually buy it, calls this a tropical grasslands. However, I think that is a translation issue because it's African savanna. So I'm pretty sure that is not tropical, but that's at least what I learned at school. Anyhow, it's more like a deserty or savanna. I mean, that's plain and grasslands. So grasslands for sure is correct. Anyhow, it's a 6025, 755 pieces. You know, there's a gazelle, there's a lion, there's a rhino. And yeah, I think it's a pretty beautiful set. However, I have only one picture at this point and not much information besides the piece count. Anyhow, if you import this from China, at least with shipping into Germany, it would be 26 bucks. Obviously, depends on where you live. But as a China import, it's around 3.5 cents a piece. That's not too shabby. And with that, we're moving on to Lego. And here we have a couple of announcements, actually. So Lego, I mean, they just started to shipping March 1st sets. Actually, we have a ton of coverage on that. But they also announced a couple of new sets for April 1st already. So these are not April 1st fool's jokes. These are actual sets. And first, we have here the Lamborghini Huracan Technica Orange, the 42196. I'm actually not sure why there's no trademark behind that, because I wanted to talk about for a quick second before we jump into the set itself, that I think I talked about that whenever I am aware that a company has a license to use certain names or trademarks, I will link this or put this in the detailed section here of ZDB as well. But what is new, I think, since last week news, is that we also have now a categorization for that. So if you go into ZDB, you can now look into licenses. And for instance, I don't know, you're interested in Audi, and then you can see in this Audi section, I'm pretty sure I haven't talked about this last week already, but there we go. So for instance, you see now the sets like from Mega, Construx, Rasta, Lego, etc., etc. I'm not sure if I talked about it. I think I may have done so in the English version, but forgot in the German. I'm not sure. That's the kind of problem if you do the same show every week, twice in 2 different languages. Anyhow. Here we have the Lamborghini. It's a Technic set, 806 pieces, and Lego is asking for 53 bucks over in Europe, means euro, and then however across the pond in North America and the US it's only 50 bucks. So it's one of these rare cases where you have different prices and not parity between US dollars and euros, which Lego most of the times is going for. Obviously that makes no sense because it would mean that the US price is cheaper. However, keep in mind in Europe, as always, including value add tax. Anyhow, Canadian and British quid are accordingly. Yeah, I mean, what else to say? In euros, it's 6.6 cents a piece for Lego list price. That's not too shabby. However, even over here in Europe, I've not seen any retail listings on this one. So I know it's quite early. So let's see what the next 2 weeks shows. But this may be an exclusive set. I'm not sure. I hope it's not. I think for a Technic set in this size should never be exclusive. But anyhow, let's see what the prices will tell us. And then they announce also City set for space, another space set, the Space Science Lab, the 60439. It's going to have 560 pieces, 2.5 minifigures, I could basically say. And this one is actually quite a lot more expensive in Europe. It's over here in euros, it's 40 bucks. In the US, it's 35. So that's good for you Americans, and you pay 35 pounds, British pounds. So you have pound and US dollar parity. That's beautiful. Anyhow, so I guess, I don't know, I guess you Americans have NASA, so I guess that's fair. you get the spacey stuff a bit cheaper. Anyhow, I think it's a nice set. I mean, I keep repeating myself, I'm still not a big fan of the entire color scheme, and it's too much science fiction for me at this point in time. That's for me not Lego Space. I don't know. No, I mean, Lego Space has always been very science fiction like, but very fictional, but I think this one is too far for me, especially too many colors. Anyhow, this thing is also compatible with the other modules. I think they also announced the Friends Space set, but I'm not covering it this week. By the way, I'm definitely not covering everything, all the updates from Lego this week. I just picked the ones that I thought were most interesting. Speaking of such, Marvel Iron Spider-Man construction figure. What a mouthful. The title is of the 76298. It has 303 pieces, and like the name says, it's Iron Man, and you can basically build it. It's quite nice, I must say. I think there are a couple of interesting prints in there. Definitely the Nexonite shield on the torso is pet printed. I think also the slope below, but I'm not so sure about these 2x2 curved slopes. I'm pretty sure these are going to be stickers. If so, you may have a color deviation issue, but just speculation at this point. Very hard to read out of these pictures. It looks nice, it looks fine, but with Lego nowadays, you can never be sure because they are not afraid to use Photoshop to make these things look very different from what you will get actually out of the box. Anyhow, this thing is going to cost you around $35 over here in Europe and 30 in the US. This becomes like a new theme, that stuff in the US is much cheaper than it is in the other parts of the world. Again, we have parity between a British pound and US dollars. Quite interesting. Let's come to the next set. The Marvel Green Goblin construction figure, the 76284. This one looks really beautiful from my point of view. 470 more pieces. I mean, it's a Green Goblin, so beautiful may not be the right term. But I think the entire building techniques setup that they used is quite interesting. And actually, it's quite nice. It's just, I don't know, they did such a great job of the shape of everything, the legs, the torso. The entire thing lives very well without any stickers or prints. I mean, obviously, they have the face mask, which is a beautiful print, by the way. Again, beautiful may not be the right term, but it's very well done from Lego's design team. Great job, if you ask me. And I think they have one pet printed standard piece on the glider. I don't know, is it called a glider? I'm not sure. Anyhow, I mean, this is perfect brick build design because it doesn't need stickers. It doesn't need prints. It's just everything is expressed using beautiful building techniques. And I think this is exactly how it should be. Anyhow, quite a nice set. I will stop saying beautiful. It's going to cost you in Europe around $38, in the US 35, and British pound is 32. So that makes a ton more sense. Anyhow, here we go. In US dollars, this would be 7.4 cents a piece. And then, of course, the medieval town square. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but I think in Europe, a lot of folks are waiting for this one. Castle still over here in good old Europe. A big topic, and I think this thing goes very well with, of course, with the blacksmiths from Ideas. Then, of course, Lion Knight's Castle. I think that's a perfect set. I think it has a different design language than the 3-in-1. Castle has. I think it's supposed to go well with the Lion Knight's Castle. It's under the Icons brand, so that makes a ton of sense. It's a 10332. It's now available since technically March 1st, but officially March 4th. Actually, it's on its way on my desk. I think I was told it's going to arrive here today. So let's see if that works out. I'm really looking forward to building this one. I think we have talked about this in the past when it was announced. So yeah, let's focus on availability, and it's available like everywhere in the US, like it was originally supposed to be, $230. Same is true for Europe. So we have the parity here again. In Australia, it's $400 Australian, and in the UK, it's £200. So with that, we're moving on to the McLaren. And here we have also a couple of retail availabilities. Prices have not come down though. Over here in Europe, I think prices have already started to come down. But as many of you may know, if you're listening to this show or other European shows, for those of you who don't live in Europe, the Lego pricing situation over here is very different from other parts of the world. So usually prices are coming down very fast. So I think you get, with sets that come into retail, you get basically 25% discount day one. That's just the situation here, which, by the way, could also be the reason why, let's say, while prices from Lego side are a bit higher over here, because these discounts are basically, you know, calculated in. Anyhow, the Icons McLaren MP4 Ayrton Senna, the 10330, is now available, and it's going to cost you still $80. So Amazon does have it, both in the UK as well in the US. However, it's the same price point. But you can already get a glimpse here. If you look at Brickmo, it's not available. I guess they already sold out, but they sell this over here already for $62 compared to $80. So that's exactly the discount I was talking about. Like 20-25% is basically day one, and then it goes usually up to 30, sometimes 40 with sets that are in the wild, i.e. in retail. With that, we're moving on to Disney Stitch, the 43249. It's also now available, and like it was already discussed, as we knew before, it's $65 in the US and $65 in Europe, and the same situation again. Amazon does have it in the UK and US. However, they're asking for the same price as Lego does, which I think in this case, it makes more sense to buy from Lego directly. Anyhow, a brick more over here in Europe, they are listing this one for 54 or 55. And I guess you will actually should be able to pay a lot less over here. And then we have Disney Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs Cottage, 43242. This is Lego exclusive again. It's gonna cost you 220 bucks, both in the US as well as Europe. So again, parity with the more expensive sets. We are more in parity, which is interesting. Anyhow, this one is available now as well as is all the Speed Champions. And I will go through them very, very quickly. All of them are on their way here, and we have more or less every time the same situation by means that yes, Amazon does have these sets, at least in some areas of the world, but usually they are asking, at least outside of Central Europe, they are asking still for the same price as Lego does. Anyhow, we have the BMWs available. We have now the Ford Mustang available, both over here in Europe as well as internationally, Australia and in North America. We have the McLaren Formula One race car available. All of these, I will publish reviews on all of these, including the Audi. This one, the Audi S1 e-tron Quattro race car, what a mouthful, 76921. This one I've actually built. I've not yet applied the stickers, but I've built the car and it is very well done. I mean, I must really say, This is a masterpiece by the Speed Champions team, if you ask me. The building techniques are amazing, and what is quite interesting, as you know, I'm not a big fan of stickers. I mean, this thing has a bazillion stickers, but it also has a very large amount of prints. I've actually not yet counted them, but it must be like 24 almost. I don't know. It's crazy, and especially also many of the Audi logos are pet printed. So that means basically this is one of those rare Speed Champions where you can go very well without the stickers, because even with just with the prints, it already looks amazing. So for instance, here the Audi logo on the bonnet, this is all printed, and there are many more pieces. The rims, of course, so there's so much amazing stuff, and it looks really beautiful. I will still apply the stickers so I can make the pictures for the review, but yeah, this thing goes very well without. Then we have, of course, also all the Harry Potter sets. So we have Hogwarts Castle, the Owlery. I've already built this one. Again, I will publish a review on this one on the site, so BlueBrixx.com. It is a simple build. I mean, let's be honest. It's a kid set and you feel that. But all the animals, all the owls are really, really cool. I really like the minifigure lineup. It's not the standard Harry Potter in quotes. There's a couple of interesting stuff in there. But in general, also available, same situations. Amazon sometimes have it, but they sell it for basically the original price. And then we have Hagrid's Hut, also a set I've already built, 76428. Again, I will publish a review on this one. Beautiful set, amazingly done. I think it's the coolest Harry Potter set I've ever built, because it's a true building, and I mean, there's a lot of arguments for that. It looks really beautiful. There are a couple of very interesting pieces in there, so I'm really looking forward also to reviews from other outlets like New Elementary, because for instance, these cone-shaped thingies, they are like a dual mold piece, and one half is rubber and the other half is like regular plastic, which is quite interesting. And yeah, it is a beautiful build. It's a lot of fun. There are cool animals, cool minifigures, so yeah, I'm a big fan. However, it's going to cost you 75 bucks. Nothing has changed in that regard. And then you have the Forbidden Forest Magic Creatures. I have already built this one as well. Well, technically, when I say I had a lot of help for my kids and my wife. But the 76432 is now available as well, and it's a nice set. However, it is, you know, the building experience is almost non-existent. Like, you build this in I don't know, 15 minutes or so. For a 20 or 30 bucks set, that is, of course, quite extreme, because it is about the animals, right? Especially this big white dude here in the center. But also a nice set, and has a lot of glow in the dark pieces, which actually my wife has decided this will go into one of our shelves to work as a nightlight. I'm not really sure if it's strong enough for that, but for sure it's going to look cool. Anyhow, let's move on to the Harry Potter Talking Sorting Hat, 76429. Same thing is available. There are already a couple of reviews coming out. personally, I must say that I do not intend to build it. I think the price point is a bit ridiculous. I mean, the reason is simply because there's an electronic component in there, and nowadays, whenever Lego is doing something with electronics, price point is beyond reasonable, if you ask me, because this thing is tiny. I mean, look at the stud count. This thing is really, really tiny. It's not $100 set. So I just built R2-D2, which was cool, but this thing is too small for the money. And then my personal favorite, I think, of this March wave, but I haven't built it yet. The Dragonstone Shrine 71819 from Ninjago, and it's gonna cost you $120. And yeah, again, same situation available, but you can already see over here in Central Europe, Brickmo, for instance, selling it for 93. So yeah, we have our discounts over here as well. Invisible Hand, the only set from the new Star Wars wave I haven't built yet, 75377. Really looking forward to it though. And this is a Lego store exclusive, $53, 9.5 cents a piece, or 50 in the US. And the other regions follow accordingly. Boarding to Tentive 4, as you can see, I've given 8 stars out of 10. ZTB, I've already built it. I think it's a nice set. I think there are a few things that they completely messed up. First of all, the Rebel Troopers should have had dual mold trousers or dual mold legs. Definitely the black boots are missing, and Lego has that piece. Not in light bluish gray, I think they have it already, or at least you can buy it even on Pick a Brick with dark bluish gray, which would have been totally fine. And at Captain Antilles, they dark tan and black boots or brown boots they already have as well. So yeah, I don't know. They cheaped out here, and this is unfortunate, but the Stormtroopers are still cool, Darth Vader is cool, and then they have 5s. And personally, I must say, yeah, I mean, they messed up these shoulder pieces, if you ask me, and of course there's always this debate around the helmet, which personally I can live with, but the rest of the minifigure is quite cool. It's just so unfortunate that these cloth pieces were not working at all. They really look awful in reality, and this is very unfortunate. But yeah, I think I've given up on Lego when it comes to cloth pieces from the Star Wars team. Somehow, I don't know. I think they forgot how to do it. Anyhow, $55, both in Europe as well as in the US, and yeah, they cheaped out a little bit on some of the minifigures, but the set itself is quite nice. And then we have R2-D2. I really like this one, 75379. I'm not yet sure if I will stick to 9 stars out of 10, or if it's maybe an 8 out of 10, but it's a very good set. Darth Malak, very cool minifigure, really liked it. I think the biggest criticism that some folks have, I can live with it, is that his head is light bluish gray and not like flat silver or something like that. Which is understandable, and I think it would have looked better. For instance, I think they have done this with the Mandalorian helmet, and I think this is what is missing here. But next to that, it's a beautiful set. It really looks really, really cool. The plaque is pet printed, which is really cool nowadays. So yeah, very, very nice addition to the Star Wars portfolio, and I would actually go for this one compared to the UCS version, but that's just me. Anyhow, you pay $100 for it. Both in North America as well as Europe, and same situation, Amazon does have it, but is not going into any discounts yet. And then we have the absolute highlight of the wave, the Millennium Falcon 75375. I've built it, I love it, it's amazing, it's everything a Star Wars set should be, if you ask me. Brilliant building techniques, it looks very well designed. It looks good. It is a lot of fun to build because the building techniques are very cool. It's the quality that you can expect from Lego at Lego's price point nowadays. By means, it's 18 pet printed pieces, no stickers. It is a grown-up set. However, for whatever reason, they decided to make it a build of 339 steps and 11 bags, or numbered bags, whatever you may call it. Which is crazy, because as a result, you are spending like 50% of your time, you know, changing the page in the manual and opening up a bazillion plastic bags, and only 50% is truly building time. That's at least how it feels like, and this is so unfortunate because this is an 18+ set, so why, Lego, why? You don't need 11 bags. 3 is more than enough, and still better, and still a lot more than you had in the old days, but 11 is crazy. Too many bags to open, and 339 steps is crazy as well, because you have too many building steps with only one piece, and that makes no sense in an 18+ set. I don't know. Can't help it. That is a big mistake, and that's the reason why I might only get 9 out of 10 and not 10 out of 10. And then the Attentive 4, which is actually an awful set. No, it's not awful. It's unfair. And in fact, I'm thinking about moving up to 5 stars. As you can see, I've not finally made up my mind. 75376, gonna cost you $80, both in Europe as well as in North America. But as you can already see, prices are starting to come down. Even Amazon went 4 pence below Lego's price point, which is crazy. In the US, actually, Amazon goes for $80 as well. But I think this set has many issues, many small issues. One is, of course, the stickers here. And yeah, I know I'm always ranting when it comes to stickers, but on a white set, stickers should almost be forbidden because the sticker color in white is very different from the material color. And it just looks horrible. I mean, it is horrible when Lego, for instance, is doing, I don't know, like they did on the gunship, like dark red stickers on dark red pieces. Looks bad. But these white stickers on this white plastic is looking horrible because the stickers have an entirely different white tone. It's much more like paper white and not like eggshell white as Lego pieces are. So I have no idea why they're not able to make the stickers in the right color, but it just looks awful. It does not look like the way it looks after Lego Photoshop. I can guarantee that the stickers do not have this color, so they definitely Photoshop this. This or they have some very imaginative lighting going on here. I don't know. The design itself is cool. I mean, it looks good. It's very robust. It's a set that I would even recommend for kids, but like I said, the sticker situation is awful, and also it does not look that good from below like the Millennium Falcon does. And it doesn't have all the cool pet printed pieces as the Millennium Falcon does, and it does not have the cool building techniques. It has some interesting ones, but not in quantity and fun as the Millennium Falcon has. So in every scenario, it is the worst set. And then Lego decided, hey, let's go more expensive. Why not? It's so weird. I mean, $80 is crazy. I mean, this is so wrong, and that is the main issue of the set. Like I said, it has many small problems, but the biggest problem is it came out at the same time as the Millennium Falcon, and the Millennium Falcon is like better in every way, and it's cheaper by means of what you get for your money, by means of amount of pieces. So I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird price point. This is a €60 set, if you ask me, or $60, not 80. I don't know. It's crazy. Anyhow, let's move on to the 42179 Planet Earth and Moon in Orbit. This is now available. It's going to cost you $80 in Europe and $75 in North America. Same is true with the Mercedes-AMG F1. Is now available for 2171. I think it's the largest Technic set of the wave, I do believe. 1,642 pieces, 55.5 centimeters in length. So, of course, this is now interesting because now we have so many Formula One cars in Technic, right? We have one from two, actually, I think are still in the market from Kada. So, right, you have this Formula E car, the blue one, and then the red one, the Alfa Romeo. Then you have also the Alfa Romeo from Mazda. And now you have two from Lego. So for all of you Formula One enthusiasts out there, I think right now you have in the market 5 large Technic sets, which is very cool. I think the Kada Formula E1, the blue one, is the only one that is motorized, or the other ones are static. I'm not sure about the Raster one though, but the Lego ones are static for sure. Otherwise, they would cost you $1 billion. And the Kada Alfa Romeo I've actually built. This one is only available as a static version, but the Formula E one does. I have built it with motors actually back in the day. It was quite quick actually, but I'm not sure with the Raster. Anyhow, what else is to say? $220. That's not cheap, but as you can see over in Europe, it is actually already available with quite some discount. And yeah, but Lego has at least promoted it. So several, as you can see, at least Brothers Brick and Racing Brick, so 2 recognized Lego fan media, have been provided with review copies. I guess that's why they already have reviews out there. So at least some promotion. And then we have the VTOL, I don't know, heavy cargo spaceship, the LT-81, 42818. So it's part of the space initiative of this year by Lego. Space is a big topic for them, and this is This is a Technic set that's going to cost you $100 or 110 US. So that's interesting. So this one is cheaper in Europe. I think this is the first set we're talking about today where this is the situation. And what else is there to say? Yes, you can also buy it from Amazon for the same price. Over here in Europe, of course, other retailers have it much cheaper. And then one set, as you can see, I have it in my favorite list or my wanted list because I'm still thinking about this one. For whatever reason, I've decided I really like this one. And I'm not building that much Technic, especially not much Lego Technic. But I don't know. Somehow this thing is working for me. 42180, the Mars Crew Exploration Rover, which is now available for $150, both in Europe as well as in other parts of the world. And then we have the Creator Forest Animals, the Red Fox. One, again, like the ZHEGAO set, one of my personal highlights, definitely a set I want to look into. Actually, I've ordered last week on the medieval market from Lego, and I'm actually not sure if I think I ordered this one as well. I forgot. So many sets. I mean, this March wave by Lego is one of the coolest waves I've ever seen from them. So, yeah, there's so much cool stuff in there. But anyhow, 31154, this is a Lego exclusive. Oh, no, it's in the European Union, it's an exclusive. As you can see, both in the UK as well in the US, you can get it. But however, at this point in time, for the same price point as with Lego. I mean, for those of you who live in these regions, I don't know, I would say it never makes sense to buy them from Amazon, right? I mean, Lego usually gives you, maybe not for this price point, maybe you need to, I think in the Lego EU, you need to buy $50 and more to get free shipping. But you get insiders points and sometimes even a gift with purchase. So what sense does it make to buy from Amazon? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm really not sure. I mean, shipping could be the only reason. Anyhow, Mega Construx The Beatles is now available, HVH42. Amazon UK actually has it. Amazon US, I haven't seen it yet. Amazon UK is, however, asking for £97. Ooh, that's a lot of money, 681 pieces. I mean, yes, there's a Beatles license. I guess it's not that cheap to get one of these. And it's a beautiful design. And of course, you have the Beatles as action figures or figures, whatever, minifigures, whatever you might call it. So that's cool, but I don't know. It is not cheap. So maybe it could make sense to wait a little bit longer, hopefully until the prices come down. Then we have a ton of availabilities or also announcements. I think I haven't talked about these. Pantasy is really getting a lot of their Kung Fu Panda license. I was just thinking about it the other day, and why are they doing so many sets? Because yes, Pantasy is always quite license focused, but I don't know, I've not seen another license where they have done so many sets so quickly. But I guess as Kung Fu Panda, due to the entire theme, is something that works both in the West as well as in China. That's my personal guess. Anyhow, they have announced 8 small sets, and I think they are now already at like 15 sets and in very short order. We will actually come to a review that we have published in a second. So these 4 are called Mini Street View. As the Mini Street View line, it's usually like a small shop and quite a beautiful small figure. So I think there's a picture in here of the figures. Yeah, I mean, they look really cool. They're technically not like minifigures, not like Lego minifigures, but means I think they can move the arms, but they can't move the legs. But they look really, really nice and beautiful. I'm a big fan, not even a big fan of the franchise, but Pantasy has really nailed it here. I do assume, I do not know yet. However, we intend to publish reviews on these ones. So we will get review copies from Pantasy. So I'm looking forward to that. But because I'm really curious if even these small sets are pet printed like they do with the larger sets nowadays. That's going to be interesting. But anyhow, this one is going to be the 86508. It's going to cost you $35 directly from Pantasy. As always, keep in mind, I have a discount code here as well. And then, of course, shipping and stuff you have to look into depending on where you live. But it's $35. As always, with Pantasy, we do not get a piece count, so I can't tell you how expensive per piece it's going to be. However, with these $35, looking at the size, I do assume these are all prints and not stickers. But let's see. The 86547 is Shifu's Tea Stall, and the other one was Tigress Fruit Store, the 86548, and then we have Zen's or Shen's Ramen Stall, 86506, also $35, and Post Dumpling Shop. I mean, how cool is Poe looking? I really like these figures. 35 bucks. Again, like I said, I do expect a review coming. However, I guess it will take us a little bit more time. I just talked with Pantasy about it this week. Anyhow, with that, we're moving on to a couple of Cost Rider sets. First, we have Shifu's Cost Rider, the 86513. This one is interesting as well. This for sure has stickers here down below because these go cross pieces. So that's, I mean, or maybe it's just some paper stuff, but I think it's stickers. But yeah, you have the similar minifigures, at least the heads, I think, and the torsos are the same. So you have Shifu's Cost Rider, the 86513 for 20 bucks. Then Zen's Cross Rider 86512, and I still don't know how she is pronounced in English. Zen. I don't know. I will call her Zen, but I actually don't know. 20 bucks again. And then we have Tigress Cost Rider, which is actually a big tiger, which looks really, really cool. Big fan of this one here, 86511. It's gonna cost you 20 bucks as well, as is Post Cost Rider, which is a dragon. I mean, can't have enough dragons. It's the year of the dragon, so that makes a ton of sense. 86510. And of course, I mean, Pantasy has now the license, but also Kung Fu Panda 4 is coming out. I think, or was coming out somewhere in this, somewhere around the current time. It should be, I don't know, 1st of April maybe. I'm not 1% sure. Anyhow, with that, we're moving on to a couple of availabilities of Reobrix military Air Force sets. First, we have the Chengdu J20, the 33025. This is again a 2,000 piece set of a fighter jet. I do not have much more information at this point in time. However, you can import this from China, for instance, here in this case from Bauer for around 65, 66 bucks. As always, the ZDB is calculating this with shipping into Germany. Obviously, Bauer has, like for every country, they have different shipping prices. So usually I don't include shipping, but because of China, the amount of shipping sometimes almost as much as the set is going to cost you. This is why I'm trying to calculate this in. However, it's not always perfect. Keep that in mind. With that, we're moving on to the J15 Flying Shark 33023. They have actually two of these in two different sizes. They have done this in the past. So this is the larger one. It has 2,000 pieces, going to cost you around 66 bucks as an import. And then you have the smaller one, this 33028. It has only 1,000 pieces for 37 bucks. And then we have the WZ10 Gunships helicopter. I don't know. I still believe this is the wrong English. It should be gunship helicopter, gunships helicopter. I don't know. It's somehow this doesn't work for me. Anyhow, it has 1,366 pieces. Category is wrong. This is definitely military set, and it's 46 bucks. And then they have the Log Skidder, another skidder vehicle. I think Lego has right now one as well from John Deere. Reobrix, however, goes without a branded deal, but I assume it's a John Deere as well, 22027. And it's a Technic set with 1,741 pieces, and it's going to cost you 112 bucks. I guess with this price point that this one is not static, but electric. But like I said, lacking a bit information here right now. And then we have a brand I think we have never talked about in this show before, because I just recently added them to the ZTB TUOMU. Okay, I don't know. Garden Party Series, Sunshine Botanical Garden. The T3008, don't know much about this set, but it has 827 pieces. Looks really nice, I must say. It looks like it has the lighting included, but like I said, this is like an early indication, not much information yet. And then we have two sets from the ZHEGAO Assuming Mini-Bricks. The Sprout Beer is the Succulent Violin, the 661006. 792 pieces. 26 bucks, and yeah, it's mini bricks. So, but I do really like it. It looks nice, interesting. I'd say there's a lot of. It's very fantastical, but it looks nice. And then we have the Sunlight Botanical Garden Sprout Beer, 612002, 1,490 pieces. Again, translation always complicated. Not 100% sure if that is the perfect accurate title, but it's going to cost you around 38 bucks as a China import. And it looks, again, like I really like it. It looks like fun. Let's put it that way. I mean, there's a lot of colors involved and a lot of planned work, but I do really like it. With that, we're moving on to our reading recommendations. We have only one this week because Stone Garden from our team has looked at the Kung Fu Panda PO, Tigris, Shifu, and Zen. These are like brick built figures. They are not like Lego's brick heads, and they are not like the brick bodies from BlueBrixx. It's a different kind, but the idea, of course, is the same. The heads, however, are very large. Everything that you see here is pet printed. So I think actually somewhere here, March 14 is the release of Kung Fu Panda. No, internationally it's March 8th. Do we have this already? Not yet, but yeah, we'll release in a couple of days, and Pantasy has all these amazing sets available. So if you're a fan of the brand, like I said, everything that you see here is pet printed. These are very high quality. Pieces are from BlueBrixx, and I think Stone Garden had a ton of fun of it. So if you are not sure yet, this review might be for you. And with that, we're moving on to MOCs of the week, and I really have to quick up a little bit. Legend of Legion has published a lot more cool pirate, Caribbean kind of sets. I mean, they have done this in the past, or that designer has done that in the past. Actually, I don't know if Legend of Legion, because they have such an amazing output. I'm not sure if it's one person or like a group of people. But anyhow, 3,796 parts are in the Havana Street, and it looks really cool. It looks like Caribbean, like Cuba. And I think the idea is, as you can see already from the minifigure selection, this is not Havana of today, but of old days. The instruction you can get for 18 euros. And then we have from Yellow LXF, as always, coming with an amazing collection of trucks. And here actually I picked the bundle, so I could show you both, the Paystar bundle pack. And yeah, I mean, it looks like there's a lot of modularity. I really like the design, the shapes, the color selection. Really beautiful designs by Yellow LXF. $15 US for these designs. So even if you're from Europe and like more like North American, Australian kind of truck is your cup of tea, then I think, yeah, these might be for you as well. Obviously, our trucks over here in Europe look very different from these. And then we have, I mean, military, I usually don't talk about that much in this show, because for my personal taste, I'm not really into this by means of building MOCs of tanks, because we have these amazing sets, for instance, from Cobi. But if you say, hey, Lego is the only kind of pieces I want to build with, and I am into modern military, then these MOCs from Simone Lovisa 01, maybe for you. Two different Challenger designs. That's a British main battle tank, right? 1,291 pieces. And as you can see, you can even throw in minifigures. I do know there's also a quite large secondary market nowadays for, let's say, custom prints for World War II or even modern military minifigures based on Lego material. So again, if Cobi is not really your thing and you really just want to work with Lego pieces, then this may be for you. $12 for the instructions. With that, we're moving on to a BMOS, the French Quarter New Orleans MOC by Quanhul. 15,324 pieces, $50 for the instruction. Sounds expensive, but this is the least of your problems. Financially wise, if you want to build this entirely out of Lego, then you have something to do, or your wallet has something to do. But it's a beautiful design, very large. So if you want to build something big, right? If you want to build a big city, but you're not yet there that you say, okay, I can design this entirely on my own, then this thing might get you started. And especially if you are into this New Orleans vibe, I'm not really sure if Lego Modulars will do the thing for you. So here you go. You get help. Have to invest $50 and maybe not build the entire thing, but maybe just get inspiration from it and then look what kind of pieces you already have and then go for it. However, if even that is too much effort, then this alternate build may be for you. I think I've talked about BlueBrixx design or similar concept, and that is to have a Viking Village extension using the Viking Village set. So the idea here by Howell for Bricks is that you can basically, you buy a second Ideas Viking Village set, and then of course you reshape it and then you make it an extension. It looks really, really nice. I also like the design by BlueBrixx, but this one is pretty cool as well. And yes, because the Ideas Viking Village has such an amazing price point for a Lego set, of course this is a set that invites to, build multiple out of them. And even if you are if you're not interested in the Viking setting anymore, I mean, there are amazing pieces in there. And like I said, it's a price at a very attractive price point. So this could be really a set that could be worthwhile to buy multiple times, especially if you can get it on a discount. With that, we're moving on to Magisto's Fire-Breathing Fortress Wizard Tower Castle. That's quite a mouthful. It is a 3-1-1-2-0 and 4-0-6-0-1 modification. So 3-in-1 castle and what was it called? Magisto's Workshop. So the gift with purchase. Which was quite hyped over here, I think. A lot of people really like this. I mean, Europeans and their castles, they, for whatever reason, it's quite popular over here. Even if we do have all the real castles standing around everywhere, it's quite interesting. But yeah, people, I guess, like to build in their basement what they can see everywhere around. I don't know. I'm a big castle fan as well, I do admit. Anyhow, this is an amazing build. I think it's a modification, so you need the 2 sets, but you need also more pieces. And I think this one should go very well together with other castle MOCs and castle builds. I mean, of course, LEGO has really revived this. Castle has always been popular, but with Lion Knight's Castle, especially, of course, now with the medieval market, we had the blacksmiths from the Ideas program, so it's still not much compared to the old days. Castle will never be, again, a complete line like it was in the old days. I think Ninjago has replaced Castle for that. I mean, castles for kids, but I think for the old, you know, the old folks like me, folks who have grown up in the 80s and 90s, I think we have now a ton of stuff from LEGO, especially, of course, we have all the minifigures we need, etc. So I think doors open for all these cool MOCs and alternate builds. I become actually, oh no, we can actually do this. Let's change the order. There's a second one. And this is an interesting one. So this is an amazing castle. It's a Falcon Master's Castle by Made with Bricks, 5,100 parts. But it is an alternate build out of 4 3-in-1 castles. So that is, I think that's the most extreme alternate build from that point of view I've ever seen. That means you need to buy the 3-in-1 castle 4 times, and it's not a cheap set. However, you know, if money is out of the question and or not a topic, and you have the Lion Knight's Castle, I think this thing should go very well with Lion Knight's Castle. And it is, of course, because it's an alternate build, it's not a hassle, you know, to get all the pieces and everything. So if you don't have a big collection and you don't want to go into this whole brickling stuff, yeah, this may be for you. And it's quite a large castle, I think. You know, it's the Falcons. They can compete with this castle against the Lion Knight. So why not? And it's quite a nice design. We like it. Of course, the alternative would be to use, to buy just 2 Lion Knight's Castle and then use one of these many alternate builds of the Lion Knight's Castle, of course. But this one has an entirely different design because it has the blue color scheme. And this, of course, fits very well the Falcons, Falcon Knights, Black Falcons, whatever. Anyhow, with that, we're moving on to something that I picked for this week because I think it's a very good and very solid design by TUOMU 5, and this is boarding 10-4 as a diorama because personally I think this is what LEGO should have done. I mean, they have made it kind of a playset now, but first of all, I think the door function is cool. The other function with throwing minifigures around is a bit, I don't know, I think it's useless. Makes no sense, and kids don't need it because if kids want to throw around minifigures, they would just use their hands. They don't need a mechanism for this. And also, besides its original trilogy, and I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but over here when I look at the kids, they are not interested in this old stuff anymore. I mean, not at least as much as they are in the newer stuff like Mandalorian or even Clone Wars and stuff like that, right? I mean, let's face it, the original trilogy, that's 70s and 80s. It's for folks like me, like 40 plus. It's not 4 plus, not 8 plus, it's 40 plus. So long story short, I believe this would have made much more sense from LEGO's perspective. It's a cool set, don't get me wrong, but I just believe from a strategy point of view, a full-blown diorama would have been the way to go. But anyway, I guess LEGO has all the statistics and data, so I guess they know what they're doing. Coming to the last MOC for this week, big fan, the SSV Normandy SR2 from Mass Effect 3 by Texter217. This is an interesting one because when I looked at it, first of all, it's a beautiful MOC, and I was really thinking like, is this for real? Is it possible to get the shapes that well done with LEGO pieces? But I mean, they made Texter217 made an instruction, so I guess it's legit. But yeah, it does not really look like, okay, you could even do this. Anyhow, keep in mind, if you want to build this, you will need custom print stickers or custom printed pieces to get it to look like this. But it's a beautiful design, well done by Texter217, $5 Australian. With that, I really hope you liked the show follow, comment, subscribe, whatever it is called on your platform where you are listening to this or watching this. Please let me know what you like, what you didn't like, and if you don't mind, like or rate or whatever you can do to help me with the social media around this. This would be highly appreciated, the same way as it would be if you have built one of these many sets we talked about. Please leave a rating. It's, it's 1 to 10. As you saw from me, I'm never really sure 100% over my rating. What is a 7, what is an 8, but if you have an opinion, please let us know, because if you have a certain quorum, I think it's 3 ratings at this point in time, ZDB will publish this to the outside world, and of course this will help folks thinking about buying a set. Or even better, if there is data missing or data wrong in this on this page, then please click the link missing or wrong data, which brings you to a form, and then you can send me the correction or the extension. So with that, thanks for listening. See you next week.